So what does two female athletes fighting each other in high school tell us about masculinity? I'm going to tell you in the next 12 minutes. Oh my God, this is the perfect example of main character syndrome. So this whole baton story, about a week old, is it not a perfect example of what's going on in our culture right now? Two different personality types that are literally at each other right now. And the one that society and culture is begging us to be, and then the other one that we really should be. Everywhere you look, guys are being told to be the main character, post more, share more, make sure the world sees you. Here's the truth. Real men don't act like that. See, one personality type is weak. It's self-absorbed. It's constantly seeking attention. And it's, more importantly, never wrong. And then the other is strong and quiet and disciplined, and is respected because of their actions, not because of their posts. See, so if we're trying to be real men, have this true masculinity and really grow into something that's respectable and something we can be proud of, look, social media and modern culture are training us to be the opposite, the first type of guy. But the men who actually build something meaningful, who people respect, they're the exact opposite. Now, you may not get flashy respect. You may not catch a bag. You may not get a ton of likes or followers or engagement. You may not have to reject tons of girls that are just like coming at you and shooting their shot at you, because what young man doesn't dream of that scenario? But the real respect that's earned is something that's actually lasting. It may not be flashy. It may not be a lot of fanfare and confetti, but it's something that you can lay your head down every night and know that this is something you can be proud of. And that's what we're after. The question is, are you trying to be a man, like a real man? And I don't mean that in like the toxic, I'm a real man kind of way, like a real man. Or are you just another guy trying to play the main character in a story that honestly no one really cares about? So this incident with the girl that batoned the other girl, I looked on YouTube to see what the storylines were, and I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And all I saw were stories from her angle and stories about Miss Everett, the girl that did the batoning. And I only saw eventually, after a very deep dive, I literally had to like scroll my mouse wheel like 5 whole times in 2025. Like that, are you kidding me? That's a lot of scrolling, comparatively speaking, the way our culture is built. And I found one story where the girl that got hit actually responded. Everything else is about this girl, whether it's not her fault or she's sharing, quote, her side of the story, or her holding a rally where people just, what do you hold a rally for? Do people just going to stand around and kind of be sad with you and play victim with you?
I'm confused, very confused.
Look, the sign of a weak character versus the sign of a strong character is really what the important part of this story is. It's not about two track athletes that got into an altercation, or one that altercated the other while the other one was minding their own business, actually doing track and field. Creates a bigger story. And this is a story that no one is talking about right now. It's two personality types that are at war right now in our culture. Number one, you've got the weak man. And that's who we're actually being trained and built and influenced to be right now, actively. It's the weak man is the popular thing to be. The traits of the weak man are narcissistic, soft, and the reason I say soft is not just like physically weak or like, hey, dude, man up. Like, it's not bro science. It's an addiction to validation. You always have to be posting. You're always sharing. You always make everything about you. If something goes wrong, it's not your fault. You're always the victim. There's always some reason besides you that it went wrong. A solution is always some other person's problem, or maybe it's out of reach because of X. It's never your fault, right? You're obsessed with getting attention instead of doing something worth paying attention to. That need for constant validation, that's the sign of weak character. You should be validation of yourself. Is it good to have support and have people that are encouraging you and in your corner? Absolutely. Even the hardest of fighters are going to have someone in their corner pulling for them or encouraging or telling them to like get their stuff together and like just start fighting harder. So we're not doing this alone, but we're also not seeking validation to make us feel better because we can't feel good about ourselves on our own. That's weak man mentality. Now, why are so many guys becoming this? Social media makes it easy to look like you're doing something, Instagram, without actually doing anything. instead of actually doing something, you just got to look like you're doing something. Modern culture tells you to be selfish. It's that your comfort matters the most, and that the attention that gets paid to whatever you can commodify, that's triumph and tragedy, that's happiness, sadness, mental health, it's all commodified, and everything's about you. Because God forbid, if you feel bad about yourself and you don't sling it all over social media, you got to make sure people pay attention to you about it. I mean, cause let's be honest, what's actually better? I mean, attention and people patting you on the back, or actually progressing in life? You know, honestly, if you want to catch a bag, like, go sell foot pics, dude. Like, there's a niche for that. You don't see guys selling feet pics. You got nice feet as a dude, sell foot pics. Yeah, I think there's an industry for that. You know, another sign of weak character is someone who's constantly sharing their struggles online as well. It can look deep, it can look philosophical, it can look high-minded, it can look like you're being conscientious and being mindful, but ultimately it's just you gathering attention in a different way. It rings of this personality type that you're more concerned with being seen as successful than actually becoming successful. It's more important to you to be seen making life progress than to actually make life progress. Well, what about the other side? Glad you asked, because that's right where we're going. Let's go. The central traits of a strong man are a quietness of spirit, a quietness of mind, and humility. You're not doing things to be seen. You're not trying to be good at things so people can be impressed or appreciate you or give you your flowers or glaze you. You're doing things because they're the right thing to do, or because you believe in them. And if accolades come, yeah, awesome. Like, you don't have to reject those, but you're working toward respect and toward something fundamentally good in and of itself, intrinsic value versus doing things to be seen. Some traits of a strong man that you can actually see showcased in this batoning incident. And maybe it's just because the girl's like an extreme introvert, or like, maybe she's still recovering from head trauma. But it showcases this, that you see it in point of fact in all of our culture. This is something more that we could be doing. You don't seek attention. Your actions speak for you. Here's a couple things that are a bit tougher to start striving for, because human nature is against you. Mental makeup and capacity, psychology is against you, and culture is against you. But believe it or not, when you're wronged about something, or you're on the receiving end of some violent whatever, or you're given the raw end or the short end of a deal, you handle it privately. Take care of your business. No public call-outs, no victim mentality, no public shaming, no just, I say it like it is, and I don't let people walk all over me. That can be a sign of a weak personality. If you're always barking. Woo. Here's the thing. Being Sigma or being Alpha, that has nothing to do with being a real man, having real masculinity. That's meme culture. That literally is just internet culture. That's you living through YouTube and X and Instagram and believing the memes that tell you about society and culture. Real masculinity isn't about being the loudest guy in the room. It's about having discipline. And having discipline doesn't mean just having habits. Having discipline means doing things that are hard when they're harder to do. Taking responsibility, having quiet confidence, those are signs of real true masculinity that we should be shooting for. And here's why it's rare today. It's not rewarding in a culture built on attention seeking. I should close down the video right there. Just kidding. I'm not done yet. Just a few more things. Real discipline is delayed gratification. It's long-term thinking and thinking towards development instead of just kind of casually breezing your way through life. Real accountability. It doesn't fit the modern narrative of self-promotion and easy success. I literally saw a YouTube guru say that if you're not getting 1,000 likes minimum on YouTube videos, as a startup content creator, you got to think through that stuff. Say, well, you might as well just delete your channel because it's dead and YouTube is killing it, so you might as well start a brand new channel. Dude, what? Maybe we're just trying to make good content for the sake of making good content, and if one person watches it, that's better than zero. So here's my challenge to you. Be a real masculine man, and what I mean by that is solve problems instead of complaining about them on social media. Leaders who build legacies without needing to be in a spotlight, that's what you want to be shooting for. So here's what I got to leave you with is a challenge, right? Because it's sunrise culture, and so that's just part of it. So if you're liking it so far, hit the like button to show me that you like the content, and share it out. Send it to somebody that may need to see it. And then, of course, if you want to subscribe, this isn't for everybody. Watch through to the end, or if you've made it this far and you're ready to go, Subscribe button is right there and it's free. So go for it. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like it in the future. Here are the consequences of a culture with weak men. There are no strong leaders, just influencers chasing clout or attention, chasing trends. And you don't have any real deep relationships, just surface level digital interactions. And even that, it starts leaking into your personal life where everything is just kind of a transitory, transactional, surface level. Everything's small talk in your life. Just chatting it up with people in an elevator between floor 1 and floor 5 or 13. Look, it's a generation of guys. It breeds a generation of dudes that care more about appearing strong than actually being strong. And here's how you can break free. Stop performing for social media. Real men don't need an audience. Focus on real world respect instead of internet fame or likes or engagement. Build skills, build discipline, build something that actually matters to you, and then apply that to everything you do in your life. Learn to take hits without broadcasting them and telling everyone you're taking the hits. Strong men handle their struggles privately. At the end of the day, here it is. Do you want to be a real man? Do you want to have that real, true traits of masculinity vibe? Or are you just another guy that's desperate for attention? The men who are respected, those ones who lead, the ones that people look up to, they're not posting every single thought, every single struggle, every little thing that happens in their life. They're too busy actually building something and doing something on an actual grind instead of just posting about the grind, on the actual hustle instead of posting about the hustle. They're too busy actually building something significant. Drop a comment below. I mean, do you see this happening? I want to know your thoughts or some examples about it. Let's talk about it. Are guys getting weaker because of social media? Let's talk about it. What are you doing to stay disciplined or grow as a man into true masculinity? I want to talk about it. Subscribe, like, get ready for the next episode. That is us done and dusted. It is a firm handshake and a crisp salute from the captain. And while you're waiting, make sure you keep that hood pulled up. Stay smart. And I'll see you on the next one.